This is our main event for the show tonight. The Impact, the 2025 Impact Newcomer Draft. So I think if you don't understand that title by, it's kind of self-explanatory, but it essentially anyone that was not on Georgia's roster in 2024 that will be on the roster in 2025. And I don't know how we're gonna numerically judge this, or how we can subjectively judge this or something. But we're gonna just come up with our rosters of 5 rounds of the newcomer that we think is going to make the biggest impact on Georgia's roster, and then we'll revisit it at some point, see who was right, see who was wrong. It should be a lot of fun. But I don't even think we've talked about this. Who had the first pick? So I don't know. Maybe
we never actually decided.
Being a gentleman. I don't know. Do we rock paper scissors real quick?
Yeah, let's.
I'll let you get the number 1 pick.
Okay, I get the number 1 pick. All right.
Do we snake it? Do I get the first pick of the?
I mean, like it's just us picking back and forth.
Yeah, so do I get the first pick of the second round, and then
I feel like we should
just go back and forth?
That's just easy. Maybe I'm cheating and giving myself.
Yeah, you're cheating. That's cool.
But like, I don't know. We don't have that many different guys. Do you want to snake it? Do you think we should?
Yeah, let's snake it.
Okay, all right. That's good. Well then,
I'll keep track of our rosters here on my document.
All right. Well, with my
first pick, let's go.
First pick in the newcomer draft, and I'm trying to I tried to think about this in terms of individual impact being the most important thing, like how much I think this guy's individual production will affect the team. And so at the top of that list, I have Zachariah Branch, the transfer from USC. Now, much has been made of Zachariah Branch. Of course, we know, he was the number 1 receiver in the 2023 class, showed a lot of promise at SC. Now he's transferring alongside his brother for his junior season. So, yeah, not much. I mean, Georgia's receiving core was horrifically awful last year. It was really bad. It held the team back in a lot of areas. Really just drops coming up to bite them at the worst possible times and everything like that. So what did they do? They got all their money together and went out in the transfer portal, and we got another big addition who I'm sure we'll talk about in a second, another wide receiver. But yeah, Zachariah Branch, just insane explosiveness, insane burst, a lot of upside as a punt returner too. We'll see. If I have my doubts about whether or not he'll actually be the return man the whole year, because I feel like if a guy's your number 1 receiver, you don't want to risk him getting injured on a return play or something. But we could see him there. Either way, I expect this guy to be, a big-time weapon for Georgia out of the slot, maybe the number 1 weapon on this entire offense. And, yeah, he's my number 1 pick. I think he's going to be the most impactful newcomer on the whole team next year.
I like that. I think that's a logical place to go. Number 1. I actually had him number 3 on my board because I think you kind of said it, because I don't think he's going to be the leading receiver.
You're going to get both your guys then.
I think I am going to get both my guys here. I think the special team is just going to be such a huge part of him as an impact player. It's like Mecole Hardman. It's like that's going to be part of why and then I think receiving wise, I think he could be the 3rd leading receiver, but per catch, he might be the best, kind of like Mecole Hardman was a little bit in 2018. I'm going 2018, right? That was Mecole Hardman's last year.
Yeah.
I'm going the other receiver, Noah Thomas. I actually think will lead Georgia in receiving this year. I think he's just with what he did in Texas A&M last year with subpar quarterback play. I mean, maybe not subpar, but inconsistent quarterback play.
Yeah. Weird.
With 2 different quarterbacks. I think Noah Thomas is set to have a really good year for Georgia, and it feels like Georgia needs one big receiver every year, that one guy you can just throw it up in one-on-one matchups with, whether it's Lawrence Cager. Yeah, whether it's Lawrence Cager or a Javon Wims or an AD Mitchell or something, a guy can just make that can make contested catches. I think Noah Thomas is that guy this year. And then I feel like I thought you were gonna go either one or two guys first overall. You chose to go the offensive side of the ball, but on the defensive side of the ball, I got to go Elo Mendoza as the top impact player. We know how much Georgia needed that edge rusher position, and everything you hear, and it's like I think we all kind of made this assumption. Just I don't know if stereotyping is the right word, but I mean, he's literally coming from West Point, right? Like he had to do things a certain way. Like if you're going to stay eligible and be at West Point. So I think he just has the mentality that Kirby Smart wants out of his defense. And I think Elo Mendoza's primed to have a big year.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to need one from him, man, because if they don't get a big year from him, there's not that many other guys on that list of edge rushers who I would say are – you can bet on them having a big year just because, it's such a young group. But, yeah, Elo Mendoza, sick athlete, by the way, which I didn't even realize this, but he played receiver. He started playing college as a receiver, and then he moved over to defense just because he asked his coach. He felt like he could do better in that area, and now here he is playing for Georgia. So, yeah, he could be a big player. Noah Thomas also, yeah, I can totally see him leading the team in receiving. I mean, he's a different type of player from Zachariah Branch, and that, yeah, he's like the 6'6" X-receiver, boundary guy, contested catch artist, but he's a sick player. They just need – if one of those two guys ends up hitting and being like a big-time contributor, I'll be happy. So 2 would be amazing. At 3, I guess, you know what, we went – 3 transfers with our first 3 picks. Nobody on the board who's and I'm sitting here. I have like a safe option here, and I have a home run swing, and I'm gonna go with the home run swing and say Elijah Griffin, the freshman defensive lineman. I thought about Josh McCray, but Elijah Griffin. We've gotten the Jalen Carter comparisons with him already. He's an absolute physical specimen. He moves a lot faster than somebody his size ought to be able to. And I know it's hard to sit here and set, crazy expectations for a freshman, but since this is the exercise that we're doing, and we're saying who we think is going to make the biggest impact. I think if anyone's going to be like that insane phenom freshman for Georgia this season, I think it's going to wind up being Elijah Griffin. There's room for him to make an impact on that defensive line. There's not a ton of like veterans that are above him that are going to block him from playing if he's tearing it up. So I don't know. I don't think it's like a guarantee that he even plays that much his freshman year, but if he does, I would expect him to make an impact.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Elijah Griffin's a great pick. He was actually my highest rated freshman on my big board as well. He was actually 5th on my big board. So I was going back and forth. I think, like you said, there's a safer pick and there's like a home run pick. Elijah Griffin is definitely the home run pick. I think the safer pick, I'm going to go with sorry. This is your pick, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. So I do get another pick? So is every pick from here on out, we just each get 2 picks?
We're going to go back to back. Yeah. Okay. So that's your second round pick. Sorry. So, yeah, now you had the first pick of the 3rd round.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go with Josh McCray because I know that he's missed the start of fall camp, and he's working through an illness or whatever it might be. And like that, that probably will affect the start of the season, how much he's able to do just because he hasn't been practicing that much. But I just think it comes down to the fact that he's a player that Georgia didn't have the type of player that he is last year. They didn't have, a big physical bruising running back who you can trust to hand the ball to on the goal line and in short yardage situations, and he'll just plow forward for 2 really tough yards. They had, Trevor Etienne last year as a physical back, but he's 5'7", 190. He can't be that physical when you have those limitations. In terms of size. Same thing with Nate Frazier. So Rod Robinson, we don't really know. They say that he's healthy right now, and I would love to believe that, but it's just like the track record of injury history that he does have, leads me to be a little cautious about how much we'll be able to see from him. So I think Josh McCray is perfectly in line to be that next bruising running back. He only had 110 carries last year for Illinois, and 10 of them were touchdowns. he just has a knack for finding the end zone, and he's a big bruising running back that I think a lot of Georgia fans are going to love watching him run. I'm super excited about this guy. I'm glad I got him with the 5th pick.
Yeah, I can't hate on Josh McCray at that. I think the practice thing did worry me a little bit. Like, if he's not practicing right now, is he ready to be in the lineup game 1? Like, do we see like an AD Mitchell or something his junior year? Like, he just had that injury, kind of just lingered for like 4, 5, 6 weeks. He played like in the first game, then played in like the 4th game for like a play or something. It was just kind of weird. And I think because Kirby Smart just seems like that kind of principled coach that's like, you're not practicing, you're not playing. There's no exceptions for anybody like that. So I worry about if Josh McCray is kind of slow to make an impact this year. Maybe by this time the season comes around, he's fine, and hopefully that's the case.
I kind of think he's not going to start really contributing until like the SEC schedule gets rolling. But that's when you need him the most anyway. So
yeah, but Trevor Etienne was super physical for like your elusive back, but he's not necessarily that guy that needs to be your short yardage guy.
Yeah, you can only be as big as you are, man.
For sure. And so that's your 3rd round pick. So I wasn't sure where to go with McCray. That's a solid pick. This is actually the guy that I had 4th on my board, ahead of Elijah Griffin, who I felt like was the safer pick. And it might not be. It might just be a mystery box here, and I picked the wrong one. But another guy we actually didn't mention from the scrimmage is Adrian Maddox. I think has been getting some buzz in practice, and maybe I'm picking the wrong one here because Georgia took 3 transfer safeties, and I feel confident one of them is going to start. Like Ja'Cory Harris, you haven't heard anything bad about him. Like, maybe he's the guy that's starting game 1, but it feels to me, just reading the tea leaves, you brought in 3 transfers for a reason. You really had a need at this position. And Adrian Maddox, he feels like the one that's gonna crack the starting lineup to me. So that might not be as safe as I thought it was. Being like, now I'm talking it out loud, because there's 2 other guys that could potentially start in his spot. But give me Adrian Maddox in the 3rd round.
Yeah, he might play star, which is interesting. I don't know if you saw that, but they've been playing him there, and I know you're a big Janelle Aguero guy, me not as much, and so if Janelle Aguero isn't where he needs to be at some point in the year, we could totally see Adrian Maddox start there. He's definitely, I think he's the most experienced player of those 3 guys, so he definitely has that working for him too. So I think that's a pretty good pick. I would say of the 3 safeties that transferred in, he's probably the safest one to make an impact. I have the next pick.
Hold on.
Wait, no, you don't. You don't have the next pick.
Yeah, I have the next pick. But yeah, I think you're right. Like they always say, the best ability is availability, and Janelle Aguero has not had that in his first 2 years on campus. So there's reason to think that spot could be up for grabs. So yeah, now I'm the first pick of the 4th round. Yeah. Let me go with my first freshman from this team. I'm going to go with the offensive line. Go Juan Gaston on the O-line. I think he's going to be our right guard all year if he stays healthy, of course. But yeah, I think Juan Gaston, and I feel like I've seen, this is just anecdotal, I could be completely off on this. It feels like I remembered other teams having like big time offensive tackles that like, oh, you can play guard for a year because we have this upperclassman that's going to be a big time pick, and then you move to tackle or something. It feels like I remember Alabama doing that a few times. So I don't know if Juan Gaston is permanently a guard or if it's a matter of we got to get our best 5 out there and he's one of them. And then when Ernest Green and Monroe Freeling move on, maybe he is a tackle in the future. But I'm the fact that Juan Gaston's already creating a little bit of a buzz and running with the ones in the first scrimmage. I like his chances to be the starting right guard this year.
Yeah, do you think he'd start over Calhoun?
I mean, he did in the scrimmage, the most recent one. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's given. I think Michael Uini was actually second string at guard.
What's Uini? I kind of thought
Uini. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right.
Is it Ulini?
I think it's just UINI.
Okay, yeah, let me see. Either way, I thought he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Michael Uini.
Okay.
I kind of thought Uini would be more likely to start than Gaston, but if Gaston just started the fall camp scrimmage, then that's a pretty big tell, is it not? All right, so
yeah, I think so.
I've got this is my 4th pick. Let's see. I've got my last 2 picks here, so I'll try to go with. Let's see. Looking at my board here. Okay, I do have someone. I'm gonna go with another offensive player. This time, a freshman.
I think I know where you're going here.
A position where a couple different, Georgia likes to use a bunch of different guys at this position. I'm going to go with CJ Wiley, the wide receiver.
Ooh.
CJ
Wiley is not where I thought you were going. Go ahead.
I feel like, you have Noah Thomas and Zachariah Branch, who are your clear starters, or your clear new addition starters, I would say. And then you have Dylan Bell, who's gonna probably lock up, or no, it won't be Dylan Bell. It'll be Colby Young at one of those spots. Maybe Dylan Bell at the Z, and then Noah Thomas. I don't know. I'm not sure how it all work out. But my point is, there's probably going to be about 6 different receivers who end up being the rotation this year, and one of those young guys has to be in it, and I think it will be CJ Wiley. I just like the guy a lot. He's just a sick athlete, really good high pointing the ball, really great just jumper, contested catch ability is off the charts. It's really there. He had a sick catch on G-Day. One of these guys, man, I'm feeling the breakout with one of them. It might be Taylon Taylor, it might be somebody else. It might even be like London Humphreys for all we know. But I really like the kind of player that CJ Wiley is. Just 6'4", jump up and get it type of guy. Similar player to Noah Thomas. I think he could have a pretty big year this year.
That surprises me. I was expecting you to go Taylon Taylor if you were going to go the receiver. So to go CJ Wiley, that's interesting.
It was just a personal thing. I don't know. I know Taylon Taylor's the more high ranked recruit and everything, but CJ Wiley, man, there's just something about him for me. I like the guy. And I guess for my last pick, I'll go with another 5-star freshman on the defensive line, being Isaiah Gibson. Now that's just kind of a positional need pick was my thinking there. There's a lot of room for guys to make an impact on the edge. We just talked about Mendoza. We both think he's going to have a pretty big year. We think he needs to have a big year. Gabe Harris is another guy that they're going to need big things out of. But then beyond those 2 guys, it's, Quintavious Johnson, I guess, figures as the number 3 guy behind those 2. And then you have, 3 true freshmen spearheaded by Isaiah Gibson, the 5-star. And, edge, I feel like it's a position where, physical maturity is very important. So maybe he's just not far along enough yet to play as a freshman in the SEC. But if he does, I think there's enough just physical talent there. I mean, the raw upside that Isaiah Gibson has is insane. So, I picked him last out of everyone. So, obviously I'm not saying that I think he's going to come in here and just, be electric off the bat. But I think there's a chance that, Georgia pass rush gets a bit of juice from Isaiah Gibson because they need it from somewhere, man. Lord knows.
Yeah, that's a good call. He was on my board. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure what his impact is year 1. But maybe the need, like you said, at that edge spot, he was he's listed at 250 or 260. Yeah. So it's not like this dude is small or anything. He needs to pack on weight like a Chase Linton or something like that. It was a little more slim coming out of high school. So you not picking Taylon Taylor really it threw off my board here because I wasn't expecting Taylon Taylor and this other guy to both be on the board at my final spot, at my final pick. So I'm looking at the wide receiver position versus the running back position. Wide receiver, Where's CJ Wiley or Taylor gonna rank? Like 5th, 6th?
Yeah,
like
that's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, because we're looking at what is probably Noah Thomas, Colby Young, Zachariah Branch, Dylan Bell. I'd say those are confidently your top 4. So maybe one of those freshmen gets into like that, but I mean maybe not. Maybe it's Sokovie White or London Humphrey or something. I think the running back position feels more open. For one, we don't know if Nate Frazier can be a workhorse. Josh McCray missing some practice right now has me a little wondering a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Bo Walker with my final. I'm shocked that you passed on a guy named Bo. But I think I got to go with Bo Walker at that 10 spot. I think what they've talked about. I lost my numbers over here. But what they've talked about and this is without Josh McCray being healthy, but I think they said in the most recent pecking order in the running back spot in practice or in the scrimmage was Frazier, Bo Walker, and Cash Jones. So it's like if Bo Walker is already getting into that, into that top group, like that's pretty big time, and he could make an impact as a freshman.
Yeah, if that's true, then absolutely. I mean, I imagine he's probably picked up a lot of the slack from McCray, him and Robinson. I mean, he's not as big of a back as Roger Robinson is, but like, I imagine he'd be next in line. I mean, you don't want to put too much stock into these kinds of things, but he did look pretty damn good on the spring game. Like, it's not. I mean, I'm never gonna sit here and say it's impossible for.
You're talking about who?
Bo Walker.
Okay,
he looked pretty good in the spring game, and like Georgia sometimes has freshmen come in at running back and tear it up. So, yeah, now that I think about it, running back probably is a bit more open of a position to come in and like have an impact day one than wide receiver is. Maybe I was just too blinded by the CJ Wiley one-handed catch that I saw on GA.
Hey, the heart wants what it wants.
I know. That's why I'm sticking by it. But yeah, Bo Walker could easily crack this running back rotation. I mean, he will get some carries, I would imagine. I'd be shocked if he just doesn't play at all. They got Bowens and Phillips on the field a decent bit last year, in addition to, of course, Frazier. So, yeah, I like Bo Walker. I think he's a really cool player. I hope if not this year, I hope at some point he develops into a strong contributor for this Georgia team.
So I wish I had a fancy graphic here to stack our teams here, but let's see. I'm sitting here with Noah Thomas, Elo Mendoza, Adrian Maddox, Juan Gaston, and Bo Walker. All right, I'll write these down somewhere.
Yeah. So
and you have Zachariah Branch, Elijah Griffin, Josh McCray, CJ Wiley, and Isaiah Gibson.
Okay. I think you probably got you definitely got the more like normal, better list than mine. If I have some freshmen turn out to be insane, then I win. But I think you got the better list.
Yeah, I think you took some home run shots. I think Elijah Griffin and Isaiah Gibson, the two highest ranked players in the 2025 class, like they could easily both be superstars. But I don't know. I'm always like more partial to true freshmen on offense making an impact than true freshmen on defense. We just saw Malachi Starks. We saw KJ Bolden make impacts as true freshmen. So obviously those guys can do it too. A guy we didn't the honorable mention that we didn't have on here. I have Zion Branch, Talon Taylor listed, Elias Williams, Josh Horton, the Miami transfer. So I wasn't really sure how to rank some of those. Elias Williams, it feels like another like that position just feels too deep. That's another guy we didn't mention. Jaden Riddell was creating some buzz in the scrimmage.
He's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in terms of guys in the scrimmage. But yeah, Isaiah Gibson might be like 4th at that position or something because it's just a loaded room.
Yeah, Zion Branch could also make us both look silly and have a crazy year.
Yeah, Zion Branch could start all 12 games for all we know right now. And Adrian Maddox, and I always blank on the Miami dude, the Miami defensive back is Jaden Harris. I always blank on him. He's definitely feels like the third in the pecking order in terms of who's talked about the most. I don't know if he's truly third in order there or anything, but yeah, I think that's this was a fun exercise.
Yeah,
we'll have to do
fun.
things like this some more.
Yeah, we will. When the season's well, I guess we'll do one more next week we'll do some sort of draft, and then by then it'll be time for the real thing.
Absolutely.